Good morning. Welcome to the show. It's the Brew. I'm your host, Lex. Today, we are talking with a father-son team. Wait till you see these two guys. These guys are awesome. They're from BrokerBotics. They created this thing, and we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of this great product. So stay tuned for this great guest. Hello, guys.
Hey, how's it going, Lex?
Hey, Lex.
Good to see you. I love it. I love it. So what's not going to be believable, all right, is that Ahan's on top, Sid's on the bottom. Who do you think the father is? Anyone? We'll get that right away. Ahan's only 15 years old. He just told me this pre-show. Is that right, Ahan?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ahan's on top. We'll show his name in a little bit.
It's
Sid's
Ahan.
Ahan.
Yeah.
Ahan. Ahan. I have like Ahan in front of me, and I said it wrong. So thanks for coming on. So your product is integrated with Tradier, among other places. We're not going to talk about the other places because we personally don't care about the other places right now. We care about Tradier. So you guys have had, just a great little growth pattern here with BrokerBotics, your product, right? So
Yeah.
tell us, who wants to go first? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's go with Sid. You go first, or you want Ahan to go first?
Ahan can go first. He started the company, so he can go.
He started the company at 15. Amazing. Ahan, how did you get the inspiration? What caused you to do this?
Yeah, so basically I was in middle school at the time. My dad he kind of has been doing this, a little investing, kind of a little options trading on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And one day he just approached me. He's like, hey, I have this Robinhood account. You can trade these little options in there. Just press these buttons here. And I was like, all right, this can make me a little bit of money. Sure, why not? And I kind of was in school, and then I come back at the end of the day, and then he'd be like, hey, you remember that? Did you trade? Did you do those options trades today? And I was like, no, I can't remember that. I'm not doing that in school. So we were sitting one day, and my dad also taught me a little bit about coding because that's his job, as being a software engineer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of not options trading, not coding, none of that. And he was like, why don't we do a project one day? So then I came up with the idea, why not take these two things that I haven't really been doing, put them together, and I can automate these options trades, and relatively simply, just so in a way that I can understand how everything is working. So that's kind of how it started. And it was going to be a personal product. I could use it for myself or on his account, so on his behalf, because obviously you have to be 18 to have an account with options trading. So that's kind of how it really started. But we saw that other people do these options trades, and there's other people out there like him who maybe want this automation too. And that's where it kind of turned into a business.
Nice.
Yeah, and it started as a business because one day, he started running this automation. It started working in my account, and he's like, "Oh, this is making money, and I want a brand new iPhone.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can charge him some commissions to get myself a new iPhone."
And he was like, the only way that's happening is if you turn it into a business. And I was kind of like, eh. And then we realized it has some potential outside of getting me an iPhone. So that's kind of how.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
now, did you guys have like a little beta group of family members or friends that you tested on? And
that's how it started out.
Okay, and that went pretty well?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And they made a little bit of money too following the program?
Yeah.
They did. Yeah. Most of them made some money. Some of them made some money, then lost some money, then made some money. But yeah, overall, it's been a pretty great experience. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So let's do this. Can you tell us, either one of you guys, and Sid, I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. So you're a programmer as well?
Yeah, I'm a software engineer. I've been one.
Okay.
It's cutting out.
That's okay.
Almost 25 years now. And then when BrokerBotics started, we were like, okay, let's see how it goes. And then we realized that if it really works out, it's going to be an awesome business. So then I left my job and I joined BrokerBotics full time around last August.
Okay. Yeah. That's fantastic. Now, did you guys get any seed money, or did you guys self-finance this? How did that?
No, but as it started out, it was like bootstrapping, just putting in a little bit of our own money. But then we actually got into a local accelerator. It was like a kind of a cutoff from a grant from the state. into a smaller little local accelerator of like $20,000, which really helped us get going. And all the connections through that accelerator kind of boosted us up without too much like external cost. So we haven't raised any money yet, but in the future, that's
thinking about it.
A plan.
Yeah. Good. Okay. So, how would you describe the product in that? Does it find trade ideas for the user? Is the user able to copy other people's successful ideas? Give me a little description of how this works for a potential user.
Yeah, so basically all we provide as a service is automation. So the user, it's completely up to them what type of strategies they want to run. They can replicate other successful strategies if they want to. We provide limited, so like selling puts, selling calls, and then spreads. So we're not doing all these types of strategies. So whatever from our selected strategy list, that's what the customer can run, but it's completely up to them. Like whatever stocks they want to do, they can select like the percentage away from the stock price, the suggested credit that they want. And that's kind of how we just automatically place, like if you want to place 100 trades, let's say, the bot can do that in a matter of seconds or minutes compared to how long it would take to manually go in.
Yeah.
And then, go ahead. Sorry, Sid.
Yeah, our goal is to focus on income, right? So we are like, okay, we will do stuff that will get you income. And then when we talk about income, we want to work backwards from the goal that the person has. Like, say, I want to make 5% income or 10% income. And then work backwards from there and say, okay, if I want to make 10% income, then I need to say this percentage away from the stock price for this stock. And I should expect this much from these other stocks. So basically you build lists of stocks which are kind of similar. Like, let's say I have just a random example. Let's have NVIDIA and SMCI or whatever stock you pick. And then you go and say, if I want to make 5% a year from NVIDIA, that's 0.1% every week. How far away from the stock price do I need to be? And you just put those things in there, and then it will just automate it every week for you.
Okay. So the user isn't necessarily creating a covered call or an iron condor per se. They can do that, it sounds like, but they're taking some of your internal ideas and using it toward that percent goal that they're hoping for.
Yeah, and that's our goal, to help them figure out like what's the income would be from their strategies, right?
And what works.
And what works. Because usually what people do is they run the strategies to make money, but they're like, how much money am I going to make? I don't know. Like, I'll buy something when some event indicator is hit and sell something when the indicator is hit with not a great idea of like how much money can we make. And what we want to do is work backwards on like, hey, this is my goal to make this kind of money. And let's see how we can make it happen with covered calls or selling puts or spreads.
Okay. Got it. So you mentioned testing things. Is there a back tester element built into it or no?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Is that, wait, did I hit on something? Is it in the workings? You can't tell me. It's proprietary.
It is in the workings, but not a traditional back tester like you would imagine in a back tester. Like, we have our own idea of what a back tester should look like. Because what we don't want to give people is stuff they don't understand. Like, so we want someone who is completely new to understand it. So we want to do everything that we give people will be like less than high school math to understand what they're doing.
Okay, great. That's actually great, by the way. So let me ask you this. So how would you describe the necessity for a user to have a solid background in options or trading, per se? Is it required that they become intermediate sort of options students, or is that not required, do you think?
So we want at least to the user how should I put this? I guess we want them to have some type of background in at least investing their own money, like self-directed investor. We don't want them like, oh, I give all my money to someone, let them deal with that. We want them to have some form of independence in the way that they're investing, but they can be new to options. And what we've actually recently started doing is a lot of education, kind of on a basic level, just teaching about options and maybe bringing them in as a client or just giving some type of education to people.
Is that all part of the package too? Are you charging extra for the education or
no? That's all right now. That's just free, kind of to see if we can bring in more users.
Gotcha.
And I've done one webinar. There's one today actually, just basic options, and he's been doing them too. So and I've written a lot of blog posts about just the type of strategies that we run and what exactly it means.
Right.
So just education mainly centered around the options that we run and just on a basic level.
Gotcha. Okay, good. That's awesome. Do you guys use any technical analysis? Do you look at chart patterns or anything? Is that part of the process as well? I love when you shake your head no. You know why? Because I'm an old world trader from the old days, right? And I couldn't read a chart if you handed it to me upside down, right side up, sideways. I had no idea what it meant. So I was always a believer that stuff didn't mean anything. So you don't use any of that in your analysis. Is that right?
We just want to be as simple as possible. Like none of all this confusing stuff. Like if you give me some charts, I probably wouldn't know either.
And it's all started out by like, what was I doing? Like I was full-time employed when I was options trading. And Ahan was in school the full time he was options trading. So you don't have time to look at charts or get in and get out of the market fast or set up anything advanced. So like just sell a covered call. And when you're at near expiry, roll it to the next week or the next month. And that's about all I was doing. I'm like, that's really simple. Or same thing with put, sell a put. When it comes to expiry, roll it to the next week or next month. And like, let's see if we can just automate this much. And that's where we started. And then we added spreads. And we actually had iron condors for a little bit, but we took them out because most of our customers that we signed up were confused by that. But we will reintroduce iron condors back at some point.
Okay. What would you say the most popular, I'll call it a strategy, but you call it what you will. What is the most popular strategy that your users like to adopt, would you say? If you can name it.
I think selling put spreads is our most popular strategy, and the second most popular is selling puts.
Yeah.
So they do cash secured puts if they have enough money to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And are they doing a wheel strategy if they get assigned one of those kind of deals?
They are. So we don't yet like fully automate the wheel, so they have to do that themselves. They're like, oh, I got assigned, then I move my stock symbol from one strategy to the other. But after that, it's automated. All they have to do is take the stock out of strategy A and put it in strategy B. Gotcha.
Okay, awesome. Now, if you put a position on right through the software, does the position manage the good and the bad? Meaning, if things go awry, will BrokerBotics take the position off? Is there an exit strategy that someone could use as well?
So that's kind of what we're working on. Is like closing them out, either to like just take a profit that's slightly smaller, so you don't have to worry if things go bad later. Like we do weekly and monthly, so later in the week per se, like if something goes wrong, and then also closing for like a loss. That's kind of stuff that's in the future. That's planned. So kind of just position handling.
Sure. Yeah, we do warn them. So like we don't handle it right now, but right now we warn the user saying, hey, if you want to deal with this, you're getting close to being in the money. Do you want to handle it now? You can handle it yourself. And we want to study what people do and how they get out of things, so we can give them those proper options. Like, for example, some people will just want to roll the thing. Some people want to take an early loss. Some people want to wait till the last day and like at 3:30 p.m. Like, okay, I'll take the loss today at expiry. And then, so we want to give people different options on how, options, no pun intended, on how they will exit their positions.
Right. Awesome. That's great. What would you say, I know you might not know this, but how many trades do you think the typical customer is making in, let's say, a month? I mean, is it active, or is it, put the position on, I always like to say, let it marinate, because it tastes better when it marinates. So let it marinate, and then, you're rolling, or are they actively trading? How would you describe that?
So none of our clients seem to be active traders themselves, but BrokerBotics is active. So we're placing a lot of trades for them. I'd say we're placing, let's see, I'm thinking of an average customer. They have about like, I don't know, 3,000-4,000, mostly running put spreads. We're running 20 legs for them every week. So let's say 80 to 100 legs a month.
Okay. So they're busy by nature of what the process is then.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of trades being placed, but it's them. They're not doing it. They get involved once in 6 weeks when stuff goes in the money and they have to close it. But otherwise, most of the times it's just passive.
Gotcha. Very cool. Does BrokerBotics have a look at implied volatilities at all? Is there Is there higher levels of premium versus lower levels of premium? Do you give the warning sign when they're selling stuff that's too cheap? Anything with implied volatility?
So not yet, but it's in the works. And we won't use implied volatility. We just use percentage away from the stock price, the probabilities of that happening. But yes, that's in the works. We actually used our grant money to hire a few contractors in India, and they are working on the front end for us to show some of this data in a way that's understandable. So I've personally worked on collecting the data and having the back end piece of it, and now they're working on how will we show this data to people in a way they can understand.
Okay.
So for example, if they put in an NVIDIA put, or let's say something here, let's pick some other example. Let's say they put in an AMD put, and they say I want this put to be 4% of the stock price. We want to show the probability that AMD will drop or rise by 4%, as opposed to showing them this is the IV of AMD and this is what that means. We're like, okay, here's the probability that it will go below X number.
Sure.
Are you sure you want to place this trade, kind of thing? Or we would recommend that you make it higher. And we have two levels of protection for them, right? The first level of protection is how far away from the stock price. And the second level of protection is how much credit do you want? So if they say, I want it to be 8% away from the stock price, and I also want 3% in a week, that's not going to happen. And we want to build mechanisms to tell them, like, hey, this is not going to happen. So you need just one of those numbers up or down.
Gotcha. Okay.
And not in any financial advisement ways, may I state.
Well, we will put that little disclaimer at the end of this. Don't you worry about it. And I'm guessing you're not registered, so we don't want to be going down that road, do we?
Yeah, we aren't.
No,
and for Tradier users only, since we're talking about Tradier provides us more data than other brokerage platforms. So for Tradier users, we auto skip earnings weeks. Not available on any of our other brokerage partners.
Okay. I love it. That's good to hear. Thank you for that. I'm going to ring the bell. Watch. Whoa. How about those apples? So do you guys want to show the platform a little bit on the screen?
Yeah, we can do that.
Take us through an example or something? You want to do one of those?
Yeah.
Now, people are looking at this for the first time. They're going to be, what the heck is this, besides some graphs? So tell us a little bit, explain it, what we're looking at.
Okay. So this is my account. This is my real Tradier account. And this is the amount of money I've made from selling options every week. So this is basically the credit I get from selling the options every week.
Okay.
And using BrokerBotics is like fairly straightforward. There's only three things you need to do. Like the first thing, and when you first create an account, it will walk you through it. My account's already fully set up, so it doesn't.
Okay.
First thing you do is connect your brokerage. And once your brokerage is connected, you create some watch lists.
Okay.
And this is another one where Tradier offers more features than other brokerages, because we can sync Tradier watch lists back and forth from us. We can't do that with other brokerages.
Okay.
So all of these watch lists will sync back to the Tradier watch list. So these watch lists are created in Tradier and they go back. So here's all my watch lists. So let's say I have this watch list on which I'm running put spreads, and I can add as many stocks as I want to the watch list. And then once I have a watch list, then I run a strategy on the watch list. So basically that's the third step, like connect your brokerage, create a watch list, and then set up a strategy. So let's set up some strategy and we can show you how easy it is.
Yeah.
And the watch list is just like your list of stocks that you're running all the strategies on.
Okay. And that's up to the user to create the watches. You're not giving watch list or suggesting anything. Yeah. Well, we don't path anyway. But
we just put option volume so you can cut. I guess that's a little helping hand.
Yes.
If you're kind of stuck.
Yeah.
And we have the top 100 highest option volume stocks and things like that for the data. We have a Discord group where our customers can discuss stocks with each other and figure that out, but not from us. Like we won't give you with stocks to run stuff on.
Okay. So what are you doing now, Sid? I see you putting it on cash or on, what does this mean?
This is the strategy setup.
Okay.
So on cash or on stock is kind of how you differentiate between calls and puts.
Okay.
And spreads. So let's say I have a bunch of cash in the account. I want to run some strategies on my cash.
Gotcha.
And a strategy, and then which watch list do I want to use? I want to use my, let's see. So you can use any of the Tradier watch lists, or you can use any of your BrokerBotics watch lists.
Okay.
So let's say I want to run put spreads weekly or monthly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I chose weekly, and here, what do I want to run? It's my put spread watch list. Let me run put spreads on it.
Got it.
And so this is the part that we were talking about that's coming soon, is where we exit early when we hit some sort of goal return.
Gotcha. Yep.
That's,
Makes sense.
We're working on that right now. But for the time being, the only settings you really care about are these two.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how much money do I want to make every week from my put spreads? So say I want between 0.5% and 1%. And to make sure that the stock price for the leg that's closer to the strike price for the leg that's closer to the stock price is at least 8% away. So if you're selling put spreads,
Mm-hmm.
the upper leg is at least 8% away. If you're selling call spreads, the lower leg is at least 8% away from the stock price.
Okay, perfect. So it's technically the short leg, right?
Technically the short leg. Yeah.
Okay.
So the short leg is 8% away from the stock price.
Okay, perfect.
And so here we will auto close if the options go worthless. But the close for loss part is coming soon. So we want to give you an option of when do you want to close it? Like what's your loss tolerance?
Okay. What about a gain? Sorry to interrupt. What about a gain tolerance? Let's pretend that you have, I don't know, you want to make 8%, but lo and behold, within a day, you've already made 5%. And again, I'm making up the numbers.
Yeah, that's where the goal
out and go to something bigger and better. Is that?
Yeah, that's where this gold return comes in, and that's coming soon too. So we're working on both those things.
Yes,
like
love it.
Close early in case of loss. Close early if you hit your goal.
Okay.
And then you just click next, and it says I have like half my cash is unused right now. The other half is being used by these other strategies that I've created. So let's say I want to use 25% of my cash for this strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And
can you put a number in there, like a dollar amount as well, or is it just percentage?
It's just percentages. Like we don't put dollar amounts because every week you will make more money, and that money needs to be somehow allocated from wherever. So we just choose a percent amount. And what we do for spreads is we evenly divide the money across all the stocks that you put in the watch list as far as possible. So we will do the best effort equal division. And Ahan, maybe you want to talk about how we do that with puts, because that was something that took you a long time.
Yeah, that was a while ago too. Every week you could make more, you could make less. So like splitting it up, I don't know.
Yeah, because the stock prices are so different from each other.
Right.
Like if you are selling puts and you want to evenly distribute across a stock that is worth $20 and a stock that is worth $5, and you only have $2,500 in your account, how do you evenly distribute it?
Right.
So we do a best effort that you get all the stocks in your watch list, even if it's slightly out of proportion. So it'll do $20 one and $5 a second one, as opposed to equally dividing the money and not getting you as much on your $20.
I remember we were sitting one day and I was stuck in the code, and you're like, all right, let's write this down, this calculation on a piece of paper. It took like a few hours.
Oh boy.
And it took a few weeks to make it perfect so that it does work.
A few hours to figure out even where we would start.
That's right. Well, that's good. You guys did it. So now you figure this step 4 here, you get this done. Now what's next?
Now you give your strategy a name.
Okay, so you name it anything you want. Yep.
Okay.
Love it.
And then you click finish, and then it starts running in the next week.
Okay. So, all right, good. So right now, this strategy is active, right? You created it.
The strategy is active, yes.
Okay. Got it. And then I forgot along the way, did you give it a credit amount for the put spread that we
did?
Okay.
Yeah, that was the 0.5 to 1%.
Yeah, so we gave it a 0.5 to 1% credit. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Awesome. So whenever all the criteria is met, it'll shoot out an order.
It'll shoot an order. It shoots out orders Mondays. As far as possible, for weekly strategies, it does as much as it can on Mondays. Mm-hmm. For the monthly strategies, it does it on the Monday after the expiry of the monthly.
Okay. Great.
And it's like the bot keeps running. So if it can't find the strategy that migrate put spread strategy, if it can't find any of the criteria at a certain moment, then in a few more minutes it'll try again. If it finds it, that trade will go.
Yeah, it'll keep trying all day Monday, and if any of the orders don't
Sure.
get filled, it will cancel and replace all the orders that don't get filled. So all day Monday, and then it also runs on Tuesday, but a majority of orders get filled on Mondays, and like
I gotcha.
it's 90-10. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys putting out, or is the machine putting out limit prices or market orders?
Limit. It's always limit orders at the midpoint of the credits. At the midpoint of the.
So once the credit's discovered, it'll put out a midpoint sort of limit order.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Wow, that's awesome. And what's coming soon is the ability to exit this thing earlier than expiration, earlier than roll time, right?
Yeah.
Did I just say roll tide? Like Alabama roll tide? Roll time, not roll tide.
Yeah.
So earlier than that, we can do it, which is really cool. I love this. And you know what I love about it? And I want the folks to really understand this. You guys said you want to make it simple and keep it simple. And you did.
Mm-hmm.
You kept this simple. Now I'm assuming that down the road you're going to add more strategies to it, some other things to it. But at the end of the day, you don't have to know any of the Greeks. You don't have to know any of that stuff. You just know I want to make money, and here's how I want to make it. Right?
And it's so
and
Ahan has been doing these basic options webinars, and you can see that people understand this. Like, okay, what does this mean? Like, if I sell a covered call, I'm comfortable with losing my shares at a certain price. Like, and I'm okay if it goes up 10% in a week. I'm okay if my shares go in. And so once people get that understanding, then it's like, okay, why do I need to know all this Greek stuff, or why don't I do any of this stuff?
Yeah,
I'm comfortable with this risk of whatever's happening.
Yeah, you can send him my way to explain the Greeks, right? Just say, go talk to Lex. He knows all that stuff. It's useless. Well, that's awesome, guys. I really like that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How long have you guys been in business now?
I think we just had a 1-year anniversary. Was it last month, right?
Really?
Yeah, so that's the company formation. We actually went live on Tradier the last week of December. So we've been we've been live for 7 months now.
That's awesome.
As a business, a year, but we've been using it kind of on and off personally. I thought it was in January, but maybe it was the last week of December.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I think our beta launch was December, and our production launch was in January.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Well, how can the folks find you? We'll run this banner. It's BrokerBotics.com, right?
Brokerbotics.com. Yeah.
Okay. Ahan and Sid. I'm not going to try the full names. Forget it. So go to the website, take a peek at it. Give us a little price points. I think there's 3 different levels, if I'm not mistaken. Tell us a little bit about the price points and how it works briefly, and we're going to call it a day. How's that sound?
Yeah, sounds good.
Go ahead.
I'll start with the lower pricing. It's like $14.99 a month, I believe. I think that's after it's updated. And you kind of just like the basic tier, try it out. You can run it in a paper trading account. Like Tradier has a nice sandbox that you can use to test it out.
Okay.
And you just get, I think, as one strategy and a watch list.
Okay.
It's kind of just like really beginner stuff. You can just run, say, put spreads, and that's kind of it. But if you want to venture into more like, I want to do multiple strategies, use this amount of cash for this amount of cash for this, that's kind of where the upper tiers get. You can talk about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're right now, I think our middle tier is what, like $30 a month or $40 a month, something like that. And the higher tier is 70. The higher tier is 70.
Yeah.
So it's 35 and 70.
Yeah. So 15, 35, 70. That's basically our price points right now. And for a limited time, we're white glove onboarding anybody who signs up regardless of the plan. Our white glove onboarding was only on the high tier plans, but just to get people started, we'll white glove onboard you on any plan.
Nice. And that means really going hands-on explanation of how to use it.
Hands-on. Yeah.
And then if once you get beyond that, because you have so many clients, are you going to do like regular webinars, which is a little white glove, but you're not dealing with the people one-on-one so much?
That is the plan. Yeah, that's the plan.
Awesome. Love it. Guys, great job on this. I don't know if I said this along the way, but I am one of the biggest fans of automation ever. And I did this as a manual local guy on a trading floor way back when. And I can't tell you how much I'm a fan of automation. You know why? Someone asked me why. Oh, okay, I'll tell you. Here's what the problem for the retail trader is, right? The biggest hurdle I always see, emotion. And when you have emotion, you do things silly. And when you do things silly, you tend to lose money. So if you can automate out emotion, right? All of a sudden you have a winner, assuming that what your strategy is and all the, the workflow is solid. And I just love that. I think it's great that you guys have gone down this path, right? So congrats.
Thank you.
Really
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Awesome. We'll do this again sometime. We'll do it down the road a little bit, maybe toward the end of the year.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of good things. Maybe we get you on a summit one of these days and you guys can present. That'd be kind of fun, right?
That would be fun. Yeah. We've seen the summits last time and they were really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
The summits
good.
always give us ideas and more data on. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for coming on. It was awesome. You guys are rock stars. I love it.
Thank you so much for having us.
He's not even old enough to be a rock star, Ahan. Good luck with that light driver's license. All right.
Well,
Yeah,
if he starts using that guitar behind him, maybe.
That's right. I love it. All right, guys. Thanks for coming on. Great to have you. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Do it again. BrokerBotics.com. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.